This week we're eating at Dashi Ramen on Sights in the City. Well, welcome to Sights on the City. We're sitting here at Dashi Ramen. Of course, Josh Hart, our Made from Heart executive producer on the other side of the camera, my co-host, Chris Vitiello, and we're delighted to be joined by Billy Cotter of Dashi Ramen. We're upstairs in the Say It For Us bar. Izakaya bar. I will try not to murder that 15 times between now and the end of the show. But Billy's just been telling us the inside scoop on how they source all this food, how they spent all this time researching the menu, the details and the story behind it. And I guess we know Durham's interested in finding out the story behind this place, the very mysterious two doors at the bottom that look so cool, and then up that hallway to where we are now. And
don't be afraid of the right door that says bar. You come up here and it's not just a bar, it's another restaurant with another sort of layer of food. We're going to be looking at some of this food and eating some of it today. Excellent.
Winning.
And the menus are right in front of me. Regular menu, late night menu from 10:30 p.m. to 2 a.m.
So don't think just because it's late night you can't eat well.
You don't have to go to Waffle House.
That's right. You get out of D-Pack or something like that and you want some late night terrific cuisine, you get out of the Carolina Theater, you get out of the Pinhook, please, by all means. We accept all comers. So maybe, Billy, we could jump in and talk about some of what we've got going on. Are we looking at late night menu or regular menu here? What are we looking at?
We're looking at a little of both. We have two of the yakimono.
Now you're going to have to break that down for
Yakimono, food on a stick.
Yakimono.
All
So,
right.
Yakimono, we originally were thinking we were going to do yakitori, and then realizing that yakitori literally in Japanese means grilled chicken. So yakitori places specialize in every imaginable edible part of the chicken on a stick and grilled.
You were telling us about somebody you went and saw when you were in Japan who literally cooked every part of the chicken?
They cook everything. They down to trachea.
Trachea.
They cook the chicken's thoughts.
They cook everything. But we wanted to have more freedom to be able to, we have lots of different great local pork, local lamb, and tons of local vegetables that would be great, especially coming up soon here where we're actually going to start getting vegetables again. So we went with yakimono, which means grilled things.
And so this is thigh, not trachea.
That is chicken thigh. Yes, we don't carry trachea. We carry some things people might consider funky, but
it's part of expanding the cuisine mindset of Durham, right? I mean, we live in this super adventurous place where people are willing to try. I'm going to demonstrate for people that I'm willing to try. And I think that's part of what people are hoping for out of this episode for sure, and generally is to learn what you guys are bringing to the table that's new and exciting that they should know about and try. So, I mean, you want to tell us a little bit about the flavor expectations or some of the other cool items? Chris, I don't want to shut your eye.
Oh, yeah, you can't possibly do that, actually.
So most of the flavors that come from these dishes come from, the main thing I would say is because of the grill that we had shipped from Japan.
You had your grill shipped from Japan?
We had a grill shipped from Japan because if we were going to do this, we thought as far as the yakimono, we wanted to do it right. And so we got this really nice grill that works great for us. It allows us to use the binchotan charcoal, which is it's a Japanese charcoal, and much like everything else the Japanese do, they've perfected it to the
right.
Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, and it's this really dense charcoal that almost sounds like you're dumping ceramic rubble.
If you
on
knock
top
them
of
together,
itself.
they sound like ceramic, and they're hard, and you think, how is this thing ever going to light?
But they burn all night. 6 hours.
They burn super hot, and they will burn like 5 to 6 hours.
Amazing.
And they also
not Kingsford.
They don't, for some ungodly reason, they don't flare up as much. You don't just get a fire all over your food, and then which gives it that, that flavor you get when you grill food in the fire.
Hot,
right? Yeah, you don't want to chase carbon on the outside of your food. I mean. we were always killing my dad for way too much lighter fluid on the charcoal, kind of deal.
Right.
You don't want to taste that either. But it must be a really, delicate process to end up here. How long are these cooked for? Is this something that's just flashed over the
It's
grill?
cooked pretty quickly. They take, they take probably 4 to 5 minutes.
And what's the vegetable we're looking at here? Is that?
That's a scallion. And
right.
Soon, and that's the beauty of being able to be in an area where there's so many great farms and things.
Yeah,
so soon, things like that will be replaced with spring onions. And opening our restaurant in the winter isn't the best time to really be able to showcase
Right.
local, because basically what you have is sweet potatoes and sweet potatoes.
Right. Yeah, North Carolina farm
good
shares
root
are
stuff.
tricky
Yeah.
in the winter, right?
Right, and,
But we know
squash.
from your toast background, people know that Billy is also with Rochelle, with Callie, the force behind.
Sorry about that. That's
No
down low.
rumors being started here. I know what you're talking about. The force behind toast. So you spent years sourcing up, fresh North Carolina vegetables, right? And knowing your suppliers. And
I have, and in fact, I was at Lantern before, and that's in Chapel Hill, and that's where I really was able to, through Andrea Rusing's brother, Brendan. He had a great rapport with all the farmers at the Carborough Farmers Market. So I spent a couple of years really building relationships with them, and then when we moved here, a few of them are here, but it was building new relationships with the Durham Farmers Market
Right.
farmers.
So what's you mentioned spring onions before. What's a vegetable that you're particularly really anxious to get your hands on, a fresh local supply?
Right now, it's anything. No, right now they've had a late start because it's been so wet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just had
cold,
another
too.
frost the other night.
Yeah, and so this time of the year, obviously there's going to be radishes and beautiful radishes and baby turnips, which most of the farmers, the small turnips they grow are actually a Japanese variety, Hakurai, which works out perfectly for me. So
Sweet. We're going to get to pair some of this stuff later with some of the fabulous sakis and other things that they
And
have
some
up
whiskey.
Here. Yeah, at the izakaya. No
Yeah.
early drinking
We
rules
applaud
for
the whiskey
us.
here.
Yes,
That
indeed.
chicken was terrific. It was just
Outrageously good.
totally tender all the way through, and half alive.
Yeah, and I
it was
mean, so
really
we
good.
hear this story of the suppliers, the fishermen, and the guys going out on the boats, and the farmers. But off camera, you were telling us that you have to come up with a certain amount of chicken bones per week to make this whole operation run. What's that story?
This is the broth.
we have
supply,
to.
Right?
Chris was there.
Yeah.
I'm excited about broth. I have a broth fetish, actually.
In scale, yeah, we. I feel like I was making broths in our home, with our friends, and we were testing them and making them in small doses, and then, suddenly we're scaling it up to a 60-gallon kettle.
I like how you say small doses and you hold your hands a foot and a half apart.
That's a small dose of broth.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
his
Go
world.
with But so
But a
now,
60-gallon
so now you're scaling up to
amount is different.
yeah. So, I think I underestimated the ability of local meat suppliers to keep up with bones.
Right.
Because I've always only needed a certain amount of meat, and they always have it, and it just didn't cross my mind that, wow, they're so I have Cliff's Meat Market, which is a pretty substantial.
Yeah, they're an institution
operation.
in Carborough, right?
Yeah. Couldn't even remotely keep up with the bones. I mean, literally, my order would be, I need this, and any bones, feet, parts that you have, just send them. So I finally was able to get another company who's a larger company, and they're known for seafood, but they also, on the side, they've been developing relationships with farms that are just north of here in Virginia, and they're farms that do it right, but they're bigger operations.
Right.
So you're widening your bone radius,
Yes,
basically.
apparently you have to do that around here, but
The boneyard.
and I didn't want to go to
Let's keep the terminology clean. Not a boneyard. Bone radius. That's technical.
I wanted to stay away from Smithfield at all costs.
Right,
I didn't want to give my money to them. So I feel that keeping it in North Carolina just by using Smithfield's, I couldn't do that. So I'm willing to take it out a little farther.
Right. Well, you want the best quality. It's not
right.
just how many miles from the footprint of the store.
Right. It's also do you trust these people's practices?
Right. And ethically treating the animals
yes.
and all of that. Yeah, we're right
and
behind
people
it.
and employees.
Now, listen, I can't bear this.
I know.
Just
how much
hanging
longer,
out here.
so how much longer do we
maybe
get to eat the
while
other one?
Aaron and I eat this rice cake wrapped in bacon, you could just tell us about these two dishes.
Okay. Well,
on the top.
Yep, the rice cake. Mochi is a rice cake that is traditionally used in ozoni, which is a stew that it's a New Year's Eve or New Year's Day. I can't remember, one of those. But it's a traditional stew that they eat, and it has lots of different vegetables and things. And these rice cakes are part of it. They're basically a really dense cake where they pound the rice, and then once you add heat, it kind of puffs up and gets, I don't know the right way to describe the texture, kind of.
It's really dense.
Yes,
Yeah, I'm surprised
sticky
at how dense it is. It's amazing.
It is.
Yeah, it's got does it have a little sweetness, or is that the bacon that has the sweetness?
It's probably the bacon. We also have started using the mochi in our take on s'mores.
You have a take on s'mores?
We do, because we thought that when you grill that long enough, it gets kind of charry looking. And it almost kind of looks like a marshmallow and has.
So
like
the rice takes the place of the marshmallow.
Yes.
Wow.
That's fantastic.
So we make cookies, and then we use chocolate from our friends in Raleigh that make fabulous chocolate. I'm drawing a blank on the name right now. Yeah, Videri. Sorry, Sorry, Sam.
No, good work. Well, and there's so much inside story to this place, right down to the plates, which you will hear later, that Rochelle Johnson actually made herself at Claymakers. Yeah, right, all of them, literally, the dishware. So before we dive into these boiled peanuts, we're going to take a break and get Rochelle back here on camera, let her tell us about some of what we can drink. Billy, what a cool story, man.
Yeah.
Like, so much fun to get to hear the inside scoop on this place. And we haven't even talked about this amazing building and what you've done to this. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, the space is really
We may have to have Dashi episode 2 and 3. Thanks a bunch, though. We really appreciate you coming on. Yeah. Do you know the social media? I assume it's just Instagram is like Dashi Ramen, Twitter is like Dashi Ramen, the website is Dashi Ramen, right? There's
Very
nothing
simple,
more to
yes.
it. Yeah.
I think they did that for me.
Love it. Well, we're the same at The Clarion Content. Check out our YouTube channel at The Clarion Content. And delighted to do it with my partner, Chris Vitiello.
Absolutely.
And many thanks to Josh.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks. Well, enjoy your my take on North Carolina boiled peanuts.
All right, we will.
Yeah.